All right, hello everyone. I apologize for being absent. Mia is sick. You will hear her in the background coughing probably. So I unfortunately will be absent the next 2 days because I have to take care of her. Before we get started with the lesson, I'm going to go ahead and bribe you guys. Whoever the substitute says is good will be rewarded. Sorry, I'm typing it to translate with the whole day. Well, not the whole day in my class. We were with shoes off and eat in class pass for the day I am back. Also a sucker. So again, whoever the sub says is good, the day that I come back, you get to take your shoes off for the whole class period, eat in class the whole class period, and you get a sucker. Only for the people that were good. So, quien el sustituto dije que es un bueno ser recompensado con un pase de alarde y comida en clase para el día que regrese. Además, un dulce también. So what we're gonna do is talk about this real quick. So students read the book Star Scientist. They learn that since the stars are so far away, the astronomers had to analyze a lot of data to find patterns that would help them answer their question. Los estudiantes leen el libro Star Scientist, aprenden que como las estrellas están tan lejos, los astrónomos tuvieron que analizar muchos datos para encontrar patrones que los ayudaran a responderse su pregunta. So everybody say, I can read and analyze a text. Everybody say, puedo leer y analizar un texto. So we're going to be talking about the star scientist, and this is our last chapter. We're on the final chapter. We have 3 lessons for this chapter, and then we are moving on. So the question is, la pregunta para chapter 4 is, how can we investigate why we see different stars on different nights? ¿Cómo podemos investigar por qué vemos estrellas diferentes on noches diferentes? So we're gonna read this story. It's not gonna be partner reading. So here's what we're gonna do first. The sub is going to pick one student to go to your bin. So, like Mr. Flowers' class will go to Mr. Flowers' bin on the board, Hansley to Miss Hansley, Smith to Mr. Smith's, and pass out the tests. You are going to finish them. Once everybody's, I don't want you to say, I'm done, I'm done. Just take your test, check over it. Once you are done, you're going to put your paper back in the bin, grab the book, The Star Scientist, right here, and begin reading it. And you are going to answer pages 64 and 65. Again, take your test, put the test back, read the book Star Scientist, and answer page 64 and 65. Now, for whoever the sub is in there, I'm going to say this in Spanish so that my Spanish person or people can get their computers so it can read aloud the book to them in Spanish. So, primero necesita que termines tus exámenes. Una persona de cada clase puede agregar los exámenes y repitarlos. El maestro sustituto eliga quien. Una vez que hayas terminado, vuelve a colocar tu papel de prueba y toma el libro de científico estrella. Páginas completas 64 y 65. Pero let me see dónde está. Y también, quien el sustituto dije que es un bueno será recompensado con un pase de alarde y comida. Oh, did I say that already? Yeah, y comido en clase para el día que regrese, además un dulce. Y, okay. So depending upon the class, one student's gonna get up. It's either gonna be John Michael or it's gonna be Andre for my substitute. So dependiendo de la clase, ya sea Andre o John Michael, toma tu computadora, inicie sesión en el aula y haga clic en los videos de las tareas en español. Copia y pega en enlace en la barra de búsqueda para que Andre, Daniel, Catherine, Mason y Adria pueden ver ambos videos en español. So I need you to go into the computer, go into Classroom, and once you get into Classroom, I closed it on accident. Once you get into Classroom, if any of my Other kids need to help Andre, John Michael, Adriel, whoever needs to get into it. In Classroom, there's a link that says videos in Spanish. Right here, videos en español. You're gonna click it, and once you get to it, and obviously this is just for my EL kids, not for everybody. You're going to copy and paste this into the search bar. Because this is, el video es un libro en español. Mira, copy. I'll do it like this. Copia y paste right here. And necesita leer
Científico
de estrellas para Catherine, Yaniel, Mason, Andre y la otra clase es Ariel. Necesita leer para el libro en español. So that is what you're going to do, my people you're going to finish your test. Once you are done your test, you're going to read that book and you are going to fill out those 2 pages, which I will be checking. It has to be filled out. What question did Gabor Bossary and other scientists help answer? Which data do the scientists help choose to collect? So as far as translations, Andre, if you can translate these to Yaniel, Catherine, and Mason, if Moises needs to help translate these questions, that would be so helpful. John Michael or Zoe, if you could translate these for Adriel, that'd be so helpful. Y'all are doing 64 and 65. So I need you to pause me, and everybody needs to finish their test, read the book, and answer these questions. Once you are done with that, it may take the whole class period. This may be a 2-day lesson, and that's fine. Once you're done with that, we're going to watch the other video, okay? So go ahead and pause me until everyone is done. Y para mis estudiantes de español, la otra video es para la otra assignment. Mira y escucha para la otra video when you're done with this. So I need you to pause me, finish your test, read the book, answer 64, 65. Pause me now. Yes, baby. I see you. All right, hopefully you are now pressing play. The next thing we are going to do is we are going to watch 2 videos together, and then we do have an assignment. So I wish I could make myself hide. I can't though. Okay, I'll put me here. So we're gonna watch this video together. I'm gonna put my volume up. Y'all can lower it on y'all's end, but please be quiet. Remember, my kids who behave will get prizes and treats from me. My kids who don't will be getting punishments from me. So I'm gonna go ahead and press play, and we're gonna watch this together.
Have you ever noticed, maybe on a nice summer evening and you're running around outside, that your shadow looks super long? But then, at other times of the day, it's really short. What's up with that? Does your shadow have a mind of its own, like Peter Pan's? Nope. I mean, I hope not. That would be strange. To understand how shadows move over time, let's talk about what a shadow is exactly. Say you're standing outside in the sun and you spot your body's shadow. Your body is solid. That means it can block sunlight. Since sunlight can't pass through your body, it makes a dark area behind it, opposite from the direction the sun is coming from. This dark part where the sunlight can't...
So let's notice, we are here, the sun is here, and our shadow's in the opposite direction. So if the sun is over here, my shadow's gonna be on this side. It's gonna like create a line, okay?
Reach is your shadow. So why doesn't this dark patch stay in the same spot throughout the day? Well, for one thing, you move, so your shadow moves with you. But let's pretend you stand in the same spot all day long. No, wait, that sounds super boring. Just picture something that doesn't move around, like a tree or a building. Its shadow would still move throughout the day. That's because the shadow is made by the light of the sun, and the sun is constantly moving in the sky. Well, you know it's not really the sun that's moving. You should definitely check out our video about how the Earth moves or rotates on its axis, making the sun appear to move across the sky. Even though it constantly seems to be changing where it is in the sky, some people know exactly where the sun's gonna be at certain points during the day. In fact, ancient civilizations thousands of years ago used the sun like a giant clock. They could tell what time it was based on the sun's position in the sky. How'd they figure that out? Because the sun follows a certain pattern every day. These civilizations saw the sun rising in the east and setting in the west, day after day. Soon they were able to guess what time it was based on where the sun was on its path from east to west. Cool, huh? And since the movement of the sun follows patterns during the day, so does the movement of shadows. Any idea what those shadow patterns might look like? Let's find out. We'll follow the sun for a day and see how it changes the shadow of a specific object. Then we can chart the length and the direction of the shadow from morning to evening to see which patterns we can spot. First, let's pick an object that stands still, not running around all crazy. Like, how about a lamppost? Say one that's about 4 meters tall. Now let's start early in the morning, 7 a.m. Sun, show us what you got. The lamppost has a pretty long shadow this early in the morning, and it looks like it's extending to the west. What happens to the shadow if we fast forward to 9 a.m.? Interesting. The shadow's still pretty long, but not quite as long as at 7 a.m. And it's still stretching out towards the west. So let's see what happens at 11 a.m. Well, look at that. The shadow's even shorter, but again, still pointing westward. So in the morning, it looks like the lamppost shadow starts out long and gets shorter as we get closer to noon. But they all extend to the west. What happens at noon? Hardly any shadow. The sun is high in the sky at noon, almost directly overhead. Depending on where on Earth an object is, its shadow will usually point north or south at noon rather than east or west. Let's see what happens to the shadow in the afternoon, jumping to 2 p.m. Looks like the shadows are getting a little bit longer again now that the sun's going lower in the sky. But unlike in the morning, the shadow is now pointing east. Will the shadow continue to get longer at 4 p.m.? Yep, it's definitely getting longer. Still pointing east, too. How about 6 p.m.? The shadow's about as long as it was in the morning, right? But again, unlike in the morning, the shadow is stretching out towards the east. So what patterns did we see the lamppost shadow follow? Let's look at these two bar graphs that recorded our observations. In the first graph, we've charted the length of the lamppost shadows. Based on what we observed with the lamppost, the sun created long shadows in the morning when it was rising in the east. When it was almost directly overhead at noon, the shadows were shorter. Then, as the sun set in the west in the afternoon, the shadows got longer again. And what did we observe about the direction the shadows were going in at certain points of the day? Well, like the second graph shows us, we saw that the shadows in the morning and afternoon faced two different directions, and the midday shadow was somewhere in between. So graph number 1 shows us that when the sun is low in the sky, shadows are long. When it's high in the sky, shadows are short. Graph number 2 shows us that whatever direction the sun is in the sky, the shadows it creates will point in the opposite direction. So now you know what a shadow is and that it changes in both length and direction during the day, depending on where the sun is in the sky. Basically, the sun is your shadow's boss. Yes, sun, no sun, whatever you say, sun.
All right, and then just one more video for us to look at together. This is just a time lapse showing how it moves, how the shadow moves all day. So it's showing the times. It's 11. Now we're about to be at 12. So we can see that the shadow is moving. So let's think about it though. Is the shadow moving because the sun is moving or because the earth is moving? Mia, does the sun move or does the earth move? The earth. So because of our rotation, we are not seeing because of we're rotating how we are rotating in correlation to the sun creates our shadow. And it creates the times that it's moving. It's now 2 o'clock. So I want y'all, whenever y'all go outside, to look and see where your shadow is and where the sun is in correlation to your shadow. So it's like getting longer and longer, it looks like. We're about to hit 5 o'clock soon. Wherever they are, it's super shady, so it's hard for you to see now. But it's still moving more and more to the side, and it's getting longer and longer.
I'm going to take just 1 minute.
All right, so now what your assignment is for me is to, in your notebooks, I need you to like, let me see if I can draw it right here. Oh, y'all can't see me, my bad. Lo siento. In your notebooks, en tus cuadernos, you are going to draw a person in the middle. Dibuja una persona en el medio. You can draw a person, a bear, whatever you want, but in the middle of your paper, you are going to draw a person. Dibuja una persona en el medio de tu cuaderno. Mira, you can draw a person, you can draw a bear. I'll draw, I don't even know what this is. but draw something in the middle. Draw something in the middle. Now, I want you to pick a side and you are going to draw the sun. Dibuja el sol. Dibuja el sol wherever you want. We're going to draw the sun and we're going to draw the shadow. So en tus cuadernos dibuja una persona en el medio. Ahora quiero que dibujas una sombra. ¿Y dónde estará tu sol para hacer sombra? So you're going to draw the sun wherever, and then you're going to draw where the shadow of the bear would be. Okay, for the shadow, I don't need anything perfect. You can just draw a little scribbly line if you want your shadow here, if you want your shadow here, if you want your shadow here, and you're drawing your sun. So again, you are drawing your person or creature in the middle, draw where your sun would be, and draw where the shadow would be. En tu cuaderno dibuja una persona en el medio. Ahora quiere que dibujas su sombra y dónde estaría tu sol para hacer esa sombra. So that is what you were doing. That is going to be your exit ticket for me. And this should very much bring us to the end of the day. Make sure you have 64, 65 done. You have the test done. And I'm checking for this as well. I need all 3 of those things, all 4 of those things done. If y'all get through all of this on Wednesday, I'll make another video, bless you, for you guys on Thursday. But I miss you very much. Please, please, please behave. I love you guys. And once I can figure out how to stop the recording, there we go. I will see you guys soon. Bye.